Getting ourselves set for a race start. The red lights are on. Start all important here. Lights out and away we go. Excellent start for Hamish Riverets from second on the grid. Moves ahead of Hunter McElrea for the run down into turn number 1. Nathan Hearn slotting up into position number 3 and Tom Sargent to the outside of Hearn as they head to the braking zone down at turn number 2. Lachlan Manif having a bit of a look down on the inside as well, and Hearn to the outside of Hunter McElrea, and contacts back in the pack. Cody Bircher and Courtney Prince coming together. It'll be Prince who finds herself on the outside of the circuit and falling all the way to the back of the field. Riverets is where he needs to be. McElrea under assault from Nathan Hearn, who was desperate to try and break through for a National Formula 4 race victory. He's come tantalisingly close on a couple of occasions this season and hasn't quite been able to get the job done.
Yeah, close couple of corners there. A little bit of contact through too. I'm not sure exactly what happened there with Courtney Prince and whoever else was involved. But up the front, it's pretty frantic. They've been wheel to wheel for a few corners there, but it's settled down now. So it's Riverets out in front, Hunter McElrea in second, and Nathan Hearn, similar to what we saw in the first race and second race.
Zach Sousa's made up a few positions as well. Zach Sousa battling with Nathan Hearn for third position in the championship. Had a bit better run in race number 2 after a bit of a slow run yesterday where he got shuffled down towards the tail end of the top 10, worked his way back up to 5th in race 2 and is currently running in the top 5 in this race as well. But down to the start-finish line they come, and it's the two Sonic Motor Racing Megals out in front, and Hunter McElrea is going to look down on the inside of Hamish Riverets as they head through the fast left-hand sweeper at turn 1.
Hunter got a great toe there, and I think he set himself up to complete the pass through as they went through, and side by side down into 2, and it's Riverets who's come back and held the lead again. May have lost it for a moment there, so it's Riverets in the lead as they entered lap 2.
McElrea was down the inside of Riverets at turn 1, but Riverets switched back to the inside and was able to recapture the lead at turn number 2. But of course, Hunter McElrea, if he finishes second, that's still good enough for him to win the title. He only needs to finish in the top 4. Incidentally, if he was to finish 4th, they would be tied on points. The championship would fall the way of Hunter McElrea by virtue of the fact that he's had more race wins over the course of the season.
That's absolutely right. But Hunter's not settling for second here, is he? He wants to win this last race, go out in style.
We'll go to one of the cool drone shots that we've been seeing a couple of times today as they sweep their way around Corporate Hill. Tom Sargent in the mix once again as well. He's had a couple of 4th place finishes so far this weekend. He expected that this would be one of his stronger tracks, given that he's been doing a lot of racing here in the New South Wales State Championship. And once again showing that he's got the pace to run solidly in the top 4. But it's the two Sonic cars and Nathan Hearn that lead them onto the front straight as they complete lap 2.
Tom Sargent's someone to talk about. He's been doing a great job in the last couple of races. Came on really strong at our event at Tailem Bend and has been following it up now, and here he is in the top 4 again, racing for Cameron Hill Engineering. Looking really strong and comfortable there in fourth place. McElrea
gets the job done through turn 1 and goes through the lead. Riverets fights back, and contact between the two Sonic Motor Racing teammates. McElrea gets forced off the road. Riverets moves up a spot, and the big question is, has that done any damage to either of those cars that could impede their chances? Nathan Hearn goes through to take the lead. Tom Sargent up to second. Riverets moves back into 3rd position. Icky, from a driver's perspective, what was your view on that one?
I don't want to comment on that. That could be a championship deciding moment. I really don't want to pass judgment until I had, able to have a second look or a really close look at what actually transpired there. But the two championship contenders not giving each other any space, and they've made contact, and that's not how we want this championship to play out. But let's see what happens. Can Hunter come back? He's dropped a long way down. He's not in shot now, so...
Wow, could this be one of those championships that doesn't get decided until after the race? We don't want to see the National Formula 4 Championship decided in that sort of manner, but I'll tell you what, Riverets was down the inside. You can see that he had the front wheels locked up. It'll be interesting. Here's a replay. Talk us through it.
So Ribberts was trying to make the move up the inside of Hunter into 2 there, and he got in a bit deep, and you could see he locked the left front wheel and was struggling to stop the car, and then, you know, it looked as though he ran into the side of Hunter. Well, there'll be an investigation into that post-race, absolutely, so it won't be clear until all the onboard footage is closely analysed, but yeah, the 2 teammates and championship contenders coming together there, very unfortunate.
So Hunter McElroy, as a result of that, has gone back to 7th.
Lockie's just doing the maths now and seeing how it plays out. But
he would get 9 points. Ribberts is currently in position number 3. He would get 14 points. So Ribberts would get 5 points more than McElroy, which would give the title to Ribberts by 1 point unless Ribberts is penalised for that incident.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And you can see Hunter in shot there. He's still going, and all the wheels look straight, so he may make up places as well there. So desperate stuff here. At the moment, it's Nathan Hearn in front, and as you mentioned earlier, he's been struggling, fighting so hard for his first win, and he's had a couple of chances where he's come second. Yesterday it was by 6,000ths of a second. That's happened a couple of times during the course of this year where he's missed out on race wins by that much. So this could be his opportunity to get his first win at the national level. He's looking strong out in front in the Brett Francis Racing Miguel. And then Tom Sargent has benefited from that, and he's moving into second. So looking further down the field, it's Ribberts in 3rd, his teammate Ange Mazouras in 4th, Zach Suter, the privateer, in 5th, Lockie Maneath in 6th, then Bart Horston in the Stealth in 7th, Hunter McElroy, our championship leader, in 8th, Cody Bircher, then Harrison Goodman rounding out the top 10.
It's on for the lead here. Tom Sargent got a great run through turn number 1, but Nathan Hearn back down the inside into turn 2. Recaptures the lead. Ribberts maintaining a watching brief in 3rd. Sargent a bit slow. Balked it up at the apex at turn number 3. That checks up the field behind. Angelo Mazouras tucks onto the back of his teammate Hamish Ribberts. So much to play for. The Mazda Road to Indy Scholarship Shootout. The prestige factor of winning the category that's regarded as the pinnacle of junior development in Australia. And you get the feeling that we're not going to have a definite conclusion until this race is actually over and done with.
There's a couple of battles on through the field. So Nathan Hearn is running away at the moment as these guys slow each other up, battling it out for second. And there's another tussle with 3 or 4 cars further back behind that. Back in the Kent class, we've got Josh Buchan, who is leading the way as he has done in the previous 2 races this weekend. Dylan Fay, the championship leader, he's in 2nd. Rob Rowe in 3rd. If they finish in that order, they're going. Dylan Fay is going to take out the Kent Championship. So halfway through the race, and I'd like to give a quick mention to our series sponsors. The guys are all running on Yokohama tyres, fantastic tyre. They all use Shell products for engine and gearbox oils, Verotto brake pads, and our engine builder is CHI, based in Melbourne. And the big prize winner is of the championship, the Duratec Championship, gets the, as you mentioned, Lockie, the Mazda Road to Indy prize. So it's a flight to and from America and the opportunity to go in the shootout and possibly win a funded drive in America next year.
Correct. It's a shootout where some of the best open-wheel drivers from the various Formula Ford and Formula Ford 1600 categories from all over the world battle it out over in the US, with the best driver getting the opportunity to compete in the US F2000 Championship. Hunter McElroy's already been overseas and been doing some testing in the US F2000. We've seen over the last 2 years, Max Vidot got the chance to go over there last year. The year before that it was Will Brown, and in 2015 Cameron Hill went over to the US as well as part of that prize. Now Hamish Ribberts has moved up to 2nd. He's got ahead of Tom Sargent. So Hamish Ribberts now gets an extra 2 points, 16 points for him. Hunter McElroy, sitting down in 8th position at the moment, currently gets 8 points. So at the moment, it's the championship in favour of Ribberts by 4 points provisionally, because we know that there will be an investigation after this race. Yeah, Simon McMahon, the driving standards observer, is going to be one busy boy after this one.
He's going to be on Simon after this race, and I can guarantee you it's not going to be decided easily, and there'll be a wait post-race before we get a final result. But interestingly, here comes Hunter, who's caught up on this bunch of 4, and he's making a pass and moving up a... No, he gets blocked out by Bart Horston there, but if he can get through a couple of these guys, he's going to get some points back and help his chance of securing this title. He's struggling to get by these 4 though, so it's Lachlan Beneath, Zach Suter and Bart Horston who he's trying to get by, and these positions are critical for him.
So if it's 8 points the margin, so Riveretz is second, McElrea is 8th, so I'm still doing some number crunching here. So at the moment, the margin between the two coming into this race was 8 points,
8 points.
Yes?
Yep.
So at the moment, Riveretz second position gets 16 points.
Do the
And
maths, Lockie.
McElrea in 8th position gets 8 points. They tied on points, as they are at the moment.
I don't think this is going to get settled on the track though, mate.
So it would still fall to McElrea by virtue of the fact that he's had more race victories throughout the season.
Hunter's really struggling to get by these guys as well. I would have thought that he would have eaten them up. Maybe something's been knocked out of alignment a little bit. These cars are very susceptible to damage from wheel-to-wheel contact, and they're so highly tuned, it doesn't take much to just upset the balance and make them difficult to drive. So,
and we've got a black flag on pit wall being displayed to one of the cars as well. Riveretz down the inside of Hearn at turn number 1, but we do have a black flag being displayed to one of the competitors.
So Riveretz is in the lead. Hearn's coming back at him, looking for a move up the inside into 2, but doesn't. Yep, Riveretz locks the brake, locks up one of his Yokohamas on the front end and runs a bit wide and allows Nathan Hearn to go through. Drive-through penalty for car 5, driving infringement.
So race control have made a call. They've decided that they're going to hand out a penalty during the race. Riveretz lunges at Nathan Hearn, but the advantage swings back to McElrea in terms of the championship with that penalty. The other thing to think about here is the overall round result, because if Riveretz is going to have to do a pit lane drive-through, Nathan Hearn could well be looking good, not just for the race win, but also for the overall round victory, which will be his first in the National Formula Ford Championship.
Which would be a great race. And we're counting down the laps now. We're on 8 out of 9. So, Nathan has been coming so close. It would be a good way for him to wrap out the season. That's interesting for race control to dish that out mid-race. Obviously, they had some other footage and things that they could refer to, and were able to make a decisive decision on the outcome of that incident.
That's good that we get to see it being resolved on the track rather than in the pits afterwards. So Riveretz has been shown the black flag. They're showing it to him again. He still hasn't pulled into the pits. The officials take a pretty dim view of drivers ignoring black flags as well. So you would think it would now be a post-race penalty for Hamish Riveretz. So it came
I guess
down
he's just thinking he's got nothing to lose. He's just going to fight it out for the win here.
So it came down to a 4-point margin. Riveretz locks it up. You'd have to say he's got a flat spot on that front left-hand tyre now. He had the lock-up when he collided with McElrea at turn 2 earlier in the race, and he's had a few more lock-ups since then as well.
It's the same tyre at the same spot that keeps locking up, so it's perhaps,
McElrea, incidentally, has also made it back up to position 7, so he has actually gained one of those spots. No, sorry, he's still in 8th. There are a few timing glitches, which means that we can't read the timing order as gospel, so he is still there behind Bart Horston, who's still having this battle with Lachlan Beneath and Zach Suter. In the Kent class, Dylan Fay, who runs second behind Josh Buchan, is on target to wrap up the Formula Ford 1600 title as well.
As you mentioned, his main rival, Tim Hamilton, was eliminated from the first race, and evidently it was a brake failure which caused his accident in the first race, but he wasn't able to start in the second race, so more or less handed the championship victory to Dylan Fay if he manages to finish this lap.
But let's congratulate this guy, because he's been trying so hard this year to break through for a race victory, and he's going to finally do it in the last race of the season. His first race win in National Formula Ford. Congratulations to the Lismore boy, Nathan Hearn. He wins race number 3 for round number 7 of the Australian Formula Ford Championship. All of these results will be provisional, and we know that there was a black flag for Hamish Riverets. Surely he will be penalised post-race. Angelo Mazura's home in third position provisionally ahead of Tom Sargent, Zach Sousa, Lachlan Manif, Bart Horston. But I don't need the calculator to tell you that it's the driver home in 8th position who is the Australian Formula Ford champion for 2018. Congratulations to Hunter McElrea. He wins the fully funded trip over to the US to compete in the Mazda Road to Indy Scholarship Shootout.